Hey listeners, did you know that Yogi Triathlete offers endurance coaching for body and mind? We offer personalized training plans for endurance sports, wellness and mindset, nutrition and recovery guidance, and race preparation and strategy, all within the supportive community of Team Yogi Triathlete. So if you're ready to conquer your fitness goals and push your limits, our endurance coaches are ready to guide you on the journey to peak performance. Go to yogitriathlete.com today to set up your free 30-minute discovery call and embrace a future of strength, stamina, and achievement. Your goals, our experience, the perfect match for unstoppable success.
I believe in the universe and stuff like this. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but I think if you think positive, positivity will come. If you think negative, negativity will come. After splitting up with my boyfriend in the corona time, I was just thinking so negatively. And this shit was raining down. I tell you guys, it was raining down. And then I knew once I started turning my mind to a positive thinking again, everything was fine. The sun was shining all day long. And yeah, that's my mentality. I'm not a negative person at all. I'm just living myself, and this is the best thing to do.
Welcome to the Yogi Triathlete podcast. We are your hosts, Jess and BJ, and today we are sitting down with professional triathlete and flight attendant Svenja Thoes. Svenja flies for Condor Airlines, and I mention this because they are a big part of how she discovered triathlon. And I'm hoping I'm getting this story right, but from my research, it seems as though after winning a contest at work, she was given an entry to Ironman 70.3 Mallorca. And at the time, she didn't swim, she didn't bike, and she sometimes ran with her dog. But when race day showed up, so did Svenja. Claiming second in her age group that day, she qualified for the 70.3 World Championship that year, where she went on to win her age group. She fell in love with the sport, and over a decade later, she sits here just coming off her first time racing as a professional on the Big Island. After hearing her interview on Breakfast with Bob, BJ and I loved her energy and knew we wanted to invite her onto the show. Svenja placed 14th pro this past Saturday, which is actually just one place higher than she placed the first time she raced Kona, when she was an age grouper. And so, yeah, she finished 15th overall within a sea of professionals as an age grouper. So needless to say, this girl was meant for triathlon, and we're so grateful to dive in with her today. Svenja Thoes, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much that you invited me. It's a huge pleasure to join the show.
And did I get that story right?
100%. I can't add anything.
Oh my God, so wild. To me, it's just so crazy. Somebody that didn't swim, didn't bike, and sometimes ran. It was just, the sport was just waiting for you.
It's actually it's super weird that I actually found something sportive that I like. As I was just, my mother tried everything. She's really sportive. And she is also the reason why I actually competed in the 70.3 Mallorca. I really wanted to show that I can continue, not continue training, but finishing an Ironman 70.3, just to make her proud that I'm not the lazy party girl that I was always, that I've always been before. So I was just super lazy. I didn't even walk half a mile because it was too far for me. I just took the bus for that. So I was just super, super lazy. Even cycling to school was like too much for me. Like for the way to school, like to elementary school, was like 3 miles, and I took the bus because I didn't want to cycle. It was too exhausting. Yeah, and this changed definitely my life when I came in second in the 70.3 Mallorca through actually my employee who did this lottery. And then I discovered, well, that's so easy. And it's so much fun. Of course, being a professional is not easy anymore. And even racing Ironmans in the age group and winning the age group is not easy, definitely not. But it was not just my feeling at the beginning. It's not hard to finish a race, and I fell in love with it 100%, like you said.
Is there a similarity? Do you have the excitement that you had there in Mallorca? Do you fast forward 10 years, 11 years, now you just finished Kona? Like is the excitement pretty comparable? Is it still alive? Are you like craving this feel of racing and pushing?
Yeah, actually, when I turned pro in 2000, well, I took the pro license at the end of 2017 and did 2 races and podiumed actually 2 times already in my first half year of it. Yeah, and then my real professional year was, I would say, 2018. Well, I'm still not a real professional as I'm still working, but let's say I did part-time. I'm still flying part-time, and in 2018 I started doing that. So I'm saying like, well, that's when I really started concentrating on the sport more. A lot of things changed. Like it's a joke that people say the athletes are friends. It's definitely not. Like when I was used to it from being an age group where everybody was okay with the other. Well, maybe 5% not, but let's say 95% of the athletes in the age group field are quite cool to each other and laugh together and yeah, making fun. And in the professional field, it's different. Like yeah, we need to be in front of the other to make our living, to make a living out of it. And I really needed to get used to it, and it took me like 3 to 4, maybe 5 years that I understood, Svenja, you can't be friends with everybody. The enthusiasm is still there, more or less. Let's say that it. I mean, as I work part-time for as a flight attendant, I definitely need to have a good season in triathlon that I can survive. And you have a different pressure when you need to perform. And sometimes I'm just thinking like, oh, I don't know how long I want to do that anymore, because I I can earn so much more money with another job. But it's just so nice. It's just I always remember myself when you need to be super, super happy that you are able to do that. So many girls want to be professionals, but maybe their body is not, yeah, making what they want and not performing as good as they would need to. And yeah, and then I'm always remembering myself like, wow, I started so late and I can compete with the really big fish. So I should just continue.
Well, take us back to that race. Is that the race in Mallorca that you won you won your age group? Is that the one where Michael Lovato said that you're really good at this? You should turn pro? Or when did that happen?
That was actually my first Ironman race was the Ironman Mallorca. It was the last edition sponsored from my company. After this year in 2015, they dropped out and another sponsor came, or I don't even know. Maybe they stopped Ironman Mallorca for a couple of years. I don't remember. So I had again the slot, and no, not the slot. I had again the starting place as an age grouper and hotel and flight, and then I competed. And I at that point I never rode my bike longer than 150, no, not even 130 kilometers, and I mean the distance is 180. So I had no idea if I can make it. And at that point I was never running more than 23k. So half of the marathon, I was a little bit more than half of the marathon. I knew how it feels like, but there was a huge how's it called, like unknown window that I was going through at this Ironman, and I was super bored actually at the run, but I finished 7th or 8th in the professional field, and like half an hour before the second woman in my age group, and I qualified for the Ironman World Championship the year after, and I had like 11 months to prepare for the Ironman Hawaii, but I didn't want to go because the slot is so expensive. And my friend was also from Condor Airlines. She did compete as well, and she told me, Svenja, you need to take the slot. Maybe you will never go again. Maybe you will never make it to get the slot. Maybe you're not good enough at the next race and whatever. And then I was saying like, well, Simone, it's so much money, and I don't have that right now. And then she would just told me like, well, I give it to you. You can pay it back whenever you have it. And then I was saying like, oh, okay, man, I take the slot, and I bought it. And then I went to the World Championship 1 year after. Horrible preparation, lots of chin splints. Actually, still having that. Like, it came 3 weeks before Hawaii. Now back. And yeah, I was just aqua jogging and didn't have a long run, and I had no expectations at all for the World Championship 2016. And yeah, I just did my thing, did my own swim, did my own bike, did my own run, and then I finished 15th in the professional field. And I think 19 and a half minutes before the second age group woman overall. And then Michael told me, okay, Svenja, now you're 70.3 world champion, you're Ironman world champion, you need to turn pro now. It's time. And I was like struggling, I didn't know, but yeah, 4 months later, I actually applied for the pro license and got it.
So before Michael said anything, was it even in your awareness that there was a professional opportunity in this sport?
Never. No, actually, I wanted to stop after 2016 Hawaii.
I love that. Like, you have this intention, like, okay, I'm done. I just want to do this. This is great. My friend let me borrow money. Oh, cool. And then this opportunity walks in your life, or I shouldn't say, yeah, I guess opportunity, but the seeds are planted, and it's like, you could really be good at this.
Yeah, exactly. That I didn't know. Like, I would have never imagined that what just happened, like Saturday. I mean, my aim was, of course, top 10. But if you see the times and if you see the density of the female athletes, I can be really proud. And I mean, who was behind me? They are really great athletes in there. So I don't need to be embarrassed at all.
Oh my gosh, no, your performance was amazing. And looking back on that conversation that you had with Bob Babbitt that day, you had talked about what your goals were for the race, and I wrote them down. These are just the ones that you said during that conversation: that you wanted to swim under 1 hour, that you wanted to get into a good group on the bike, like at least until Hawaii, and then on the run, no walking breaks. This one's a big ask, I think. No stomach issues. And there was one more goal that you wanted to have a tiny bit of fun as well. So how did you do with these goals that you had?
Oh, I love it that you wrote that down, because I didn't remember actually. The first one, I can tick it. I had a good swim. It was under 1 hour. I was super happy with it. Then, yeah, actually, when I came in the T1, I calmed myself down and told myself, okay, now I stay in the group, stick in the group, and everything will be good. That was the plan. But I had another plan. Like my bike strategy was, after 4 minutes in a certain wattage, I stopped going at that high intensity. And that was definitely not a good thing. I should have continued, because they were going for like maybe 5 minutes at that intensity, and then they got slower. And I think I was like 200 meters behind, and I noticed, oh, now the distance keeps the same and it's not growing anymore. But at that point, I couldn't follow, because if there's a group and you're alone, you can't follow the group. And it was a huge group, it was like 10 athletes or whatever. So they were working together, and I was just trying to fight it back, but just couldn't. And then at one point I gave up on this group, and it was such a lonely ride. So I can't tick the second point. I was completely on my own, lost nutrition after Harvey. It was a disaster, actually. not just not just physically, but also mentally. Then on the run, I was really worried about the walking breaks as I have. I don't know what happened at that day, as I have the chin splint again. But I was so worried about my lost nutrition on the bike that I will fall into a big hole. What actually happened on the bike when I had no nutrition left, and I was just aiming for the next aid station where I stopped and took 2 Red Bulls, Coke, Morton bars, Morton gels, what I've never tried before. Like, it was just such a big risk, and that was in my head. Like, when you start running, you need to continue eating sweet stuff, otherwise the insulin peak will like go down, and then you fall in even a bigger hole. So it was just so like, take Coke every single station and continue like eating and whatever. So I forgot about the chin splints and the walking breaks. I mean, I didn't walk because of pain. I didn't walk because I needed to grab my Coke. So let's say half a tick for that. But it was not because of like slow. It didn't slow me down that much. So there was that. What else did you say? Like, what was the...
Okay, so right now we have the 3 goals and we have 1.5 ticks. So we're 50-50. So the last one is the deciding
also
one.
Stomach issues. So did you have any stomach issues?
No stomach issues, nothing. That was a wonder. Definitely.
Okay.
It was.
All right. So that's a good...
We might want to take that up a full tick then.
100%. That is a full tick.
Yeah.
Maybe
and you
tick.
also had the 5th fastest run.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
And I did walks at the aid stations to have my Cokes. It's weird, like really cool.
So so on a major Coke high, you now we've got 2 ticks out of 3 goals, and then there's one more goal, which was to have a tiny bit of fun.
Oh yeah, really cool. Like in the swim, I didn't have fun at all. I was fighting hard. On the bike, I was just asking myself, like, Svenja, I think it was not a good idea to spend all the money to come to Kona. You go back with a big minus. You embarrass yourself, and it's just a shit performance what you're doing here right now. But when I started running, actually, going up the last hill on the highway, and then you go down Palani, and I actually passed a girl that pushed me down in the swim. And she was like the person I really wanted to catch. That was super important for me. When I catched her, like at that moment, I really had a lot of fun. Like a lot of like, yes, got it.
I love the fun part of it, but I also love like this battle of the mind that's going on the bike, where you have the goal and you really want to stick with the group, but you're anguish and the thoughts are coming in saying, hold back a little bit. Like, this is a little bit much. You're not going to be able to hold it. And it's also the ego is in there saying like, you should be better. Like you're a professional and you spent this money to be here. Like you got to be better. But there's also the loving side of you that says, are you giving your best right now? Are you giving your best? Can you pull yourself out of this story that isn't helping? And can you just concentrate on what you can do, get fuel in, get calories in, and set yourself up for a run? So how do you think you navigated that battle of the mind? Because it sounds like it was a battle of the mind more so than the physical out there on the bike.
Yeah, like it was mentally super, super tough. But my friend, Marcus, actually, he waited in Harvey. And that was really, really, really great that he did that. Because it was just like, I was just thinking, just go to Harvey and there's Marcus and everything will be fine. So I was just continuing to see him and not disappoint him that he did like all the way going there and see me to support me. And then when I saw him there, and it was so funny because he was standing between the aid station and special needs that I can throw my bottle and he can actually take it because it's super expensive. It's like $55. And I mean, if he wouldn't have been there, I would have just thrown it away. But in this case, he could pick it up at a trash zone. which was really cool. And when I passed him, he was like, yeah, throw it now. And it made me so fun. Like I needed to laugh like so hard. That he was like really trying to get this freaking stupid bottle. Yeah, it made me like super happy. And yeah, actually turned everything around again for a bit until I lost my nutrition at, I don't know, like 20K behind Harvey. And yeah, I always filling up my system, and then I take my liquid nutrition. But after filling it up, and then I wanted to take the nutrition, it was not there anymore. So I didn't have nutrition for 30Ks. Like it was for 50 minutes. I didn't have anything to eat, and my heart rate dropped crazily. I couldn't push the pedal anymore. Like there was no wattage anymore, no power. And I was already like giving up again, and just wanted to finish the bike part. And then the point came that the aid station, like, and actually then I saw the aid station coming. It was just an angel coming down from the universe. And yeah, I stopped there and ate everything what was there. And like it took me, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, and energy came back. And actually that gave me mentally again such a big push. Just being happy that I could move forward again. So yeah, that's the cool thing in a long distance race, that you have so many different feelings, and bouncing back is possible for sure.
Yeah, isn't that part of the like addiction to it? Like where it's hard to say this was the last one.
Yeah, it's actually, isn't it like every second Ironman that you are saying, okay, that's enough, I stop now. And this race, it was probably one of the toughest one for my body. Maybe also for my mind, but for my body definitely, because I'm still like not good. Like let's say like that. Like my legs are still smashed. So it was really, really hard on my body this race, and I think this is like so impressive. How the mind can push the body to a limit that is so way over you would do in a normal training.
What do you attribute that to? What do you attribute your mindset to? Is it something you've always had, and you're just like, I know I'm going to get through this? Well, actually, it's not something, because you didn't want to run. You'd rather take the bus than run. But what is it about? Can you pinpoint anything in your mindset that just says, I know I can be better. I know I can push out the pain of the shin splints. Like I can push that or shelf that for now. Is there anything that you can tangibly connect to that gives you that mindset or belief or trust in yourself?
Actually, I have a really little self-trust. And I really, I'm really loving when I perform and I see actually I can do more than I think. And it gives me like just a little bit of more self-trust. And so I'm stepping forward every single time until I'm falling back into a hole again, because in the training session it's not working or whatever. But I'm always aiming to show myself that I'm better than I think. And I think this is my biggest motivation.
Yeah, that sounds like it's like you're hard. I know you were lazy at the beginning of your life, but this part of you, was lying dormant. It was just waiting. And it's not, I don't think it's ever really going to be easy. But do you feel over these years, even though you're having the challenges, even though this Kona might have been the toughest one mentally and physically for you, do you feel like you're getting better at moving through it?
This one was a really, really, really important race for me. Show me again that there's still the chance to have a good race, even if you feel like shit. So I can't really remember when I felt that bad and struggled that hard. So this is a big step in a really, really good direction. And I'm super happy that I was completely alone on the bike. And I know, well, if that happens, that's fine. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, you use these experiences, these lows as, as fuel to keep going. And it's so important I think it's so important to have those little like, okay, just get to Hovey. Okay, now I have no nutrition. All right, get to the next aid station. Okay. And then in these little wins all along the way that keep you going, because if you got out onto the Queen K, lost that group and said, screw it, I'm done.
Yeah.
You'd be dealing with a whole other situation, I think, in your mind. But these little wins it's incredible. And I think that with Ironman, especially, I mean, any kind of ultra distance event, even think about like 100-mile races or 100K running races. It's, everybody is having those highs and lows. And so the girls in front of you are having them, the girls behind you are the ones that you're passing, the ones that passed you, like we're all having them. But every time we just stay the course, you get like another tick on that list of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I can do, in hindsight.
Yeah. But the funny, like you say, everybody has it. But the funny thing is, like, I'm thinking it's only me. It's only me. Like, everybody looks so great. And I'm just like, oh my God, like they look so good. And I'm just struggling so hard, but it's not like you're 100% sure. And probably I should start reminding myself that we are all in the same thing.
Yes, that is so tricky is when you're out, like on the run and you've got all these miles under your belt and you look at everyone and you can't feel what they're feeling. All you can feel is what you're feeling and your body is screaming at you. It's helpful to remember, like, they're probably feeling something very similar. In most cases, maybe worse.
Yeah, 100%. That's so true. Yeah.
So, okay. What was the plan going into Kona? Obviously, like we have a plan and then things just happen. But what was the plan going in with you and your coach?
The plan was a top 10. But my coach was also saying to me, Svenja, there will be injuries. There will be people dropping out. There will be a crash, but nothing of that happened. All the athletes just went through, no injuries. Like all the big ones were there. Nobody didn't appear in the morning. They were all there. There was no mechanical. Everybody went through, and I was like, it's not going to plan at all here. And when I actually, my mom came, like I traveled alone to Kona, felt little alone. I really need to say that. And looking right and left and then seeing all the professionals with like at least two supporters on their side, I was just like, oh, Svenja, you're so an age grouper in a professional skin. But I don't know. So my mom came and she told me, when I came with the bike to the T2, Svenja, you're on position 29. And I was like, holy shit. It's not good what I'm doing here. And then I just told myself, you need to risk something right now. Take everything you can get at the aid station, that the sugar level stays up. I was in a big deficit for sure. Like my calories were not good. And I could feel that I had this gap on the bike part, and I really risked it a lot, especially like the last half of the marathon, when my friend Marcus, who was in Harvey, waiting at Energy Lab, told me there are freaking a lot of girls in front of you, and they are not looking great. And then I was like, okay, I'm risking something now. Fuck off. So. Yeah, the plan was top 10. I couldn't achieve that. But I mean, no illness, no injury, no mechanical of anyone. So I can be really proud. And even Coach Michael Harvey called me after the race, what made me really proud, because he was up until 3:30 a.m. Waiting for my call. And he told me, Svenja, I am so proud you executed this race crazily good. and never gave up. And I'm just super happy what you did. So yeah, I like my thinking after the race, oh shit, I didn't make it, turned into like, oh cool, he's happy. So I was happy too, yeah.
Yeah, what a day. And I think when you get down in your calories, I think that's a lot of mind stuff too, because the mind needs calories. Otherwise, it's going to default to what's comfortable, which is giving up, which is stopping, which is not pushing. But it was so important to get those calories in and then be willing to risk it, which means that you made a decisive decision. You were willing to fail. You were willing to blow up.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Like you were just like, I don't care what happens. I'm just going to run and catch as many ladies as I can.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it's a 50-50 chance that I finish the marathon in 4 hours, even if I'm heading to a 3-hour marathon. If there's stuff happening right now and I'm walking the last half of it, there's a possibility to just finish in 4 hours. But I was just saying to myself, I don't want to go out of here with a top 20 position. I need to run into the prize money because I spent it so much money and I can't afford to go home with zero money. I just can't afford it. And now at least I have a third paid for my travel. That's definitely better than zero.
So were you counting the girls that you were passing? Because I'm looking at your time. So let's just give everyone what your times were. So on the swim, you were 25th?
Yep.
25th pro on the swim. You did 56:51. So we know you hit that goal. And then the bike was 30th, right? Mm-hmm. 30th off the bike. And then to fifth fastest run. So to 14th position. So you passed 16 girls, all wanting to have a payday. Were you counting it all? Like just trying to get into that top 20 or I'll ask you that question to start.
Actually, I had no idea what position I had until where was it? When you see the traffic lights going back to town, it's mm-hmm. like it's not the airport traffic lights, but when they're getting more frequently, they're kind of. I think it's when you pass this harbor on the right side, there it starts like it gets a little busy, and there was my mom standing, and she told me, you are 18th, and there are 4 girls in front. 3 girls in front. You should push right now. and then I just ran like I could. It was not fast, but it felt fast. And that's probably also why I'm so destroyed, because I didn't put I didn't put good nutrition in anymore. I was just shuffling to the finish line, really trying to pass the last 4 girls to be in 14th position, as I knew I definitely need to be at least 15th. But I could see that I can make it to 14th, and then I was just super scared running down Palani, and I really thought that's super stupid, because normally if they are running, they can't respond anymore. But I was thinking they are just sitting in my bag the whole time for the last 4Ks, and I was just running scared. And actually I opened the gap the last 2Ks, going down Palani. I made 45 seconds to the 15th position, and that's like a lot for the last 2K. Do
you ever wonder, how did I find that? I have no calories. How am I finding that adrenaline or desire?
Yeah, hey, I know. I was just I told myself, you need to make to the finish line, and you get as many Cokes as you want, but just make it to the finish line. And I could actually feel my legs getting really jelly when I was on the flat part, when you see this really wonderful tree and the church, and I was like, oh, now it's getting not good. Then I just went over the finish line, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I did it. I just did my hands here on my head. And then there was Andrew Messick. I could see him, but only with one eye. And then the two helping Peter volunteers came to help me, and took me on my arms and actually broke down because not because I was so super tired mentally, but my body was just so out of sugar, and my legs were completely smashed as they were so in a deficit. I've never experienced that before, and I think that's why I'm so smashed still, because I was running on a really, really low gas or flame, however you want to call it.
Well, you ran a 3:01. So, put some calories in there, put some little less walks like that. You're right there with everybody else. You're right there with the top 3.
Yeah, that was really impressive. And I'm super proud that I was running as fast as Daniela. She's a big hero, and can't believe it. I really can't believe it how that worked. But it was definitely the fear of embarrassing myself coming to Kona, spending so much money, and having such a bad position. So maybe if I would have been 20th, I wouldn't have risked that much. I have no idea. But I had absolutely nothing to lose. That's why I did that.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that, can't we always lean into that? Like, this is something you get to do. Like, what are you losing? All you have is to gain, whether that's, gaining lessons from a tough race, or, getting a great cash prize at the end. We don't really have we don't have anything that we're holding to lose. So, and I think you have to risk it to, if you didn't risk it, you could have easily been in no money.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh yeah.
You have to risk it. And again, we can all look at Lucy and Annie, and watching them run just so beautifully. It didn't look like they had, especially Annie Haug, doesn't even look like she just looks like this well-oiled, insane machine that just can run. But they're risking it.
Yeah.
They've got to risk it. Nobody knows anything for sure. Mm-hmm. You have to risk it. And then the rest is either going to align or, you're going to learn either way.
Oh yeah. That was my lesson. I had so many lessons learned at that race, and I'm so happy I spent all that money to go, and spent all my energy on the run to see how far I can go. It was just super, super cool. Yeah.
So you're there with all these professionals. Are there any ones that you look up to, like the ones that you're like? You mentioned Daniela, but is there ones that were super stoked to maybe meet or have a conversation with or engage with?
I was training at the Olympia stadium. I don't know how that's called in English, in Saarbrücken, where Annie is training as well. And I met her right at the beginning when I started. And I was still this little age grouper, and I saw her in the changing room and asked her for an autograph. And ask her what she's training and what I can do better to perform better. And she was telling me some little things in the past. And I'm looking up to her since then. It's pretty much 11 years.
Wow.
What's a piece of advice that you've taken away either from that conversation with Annie or your coach or somebody along the line that's really been something that has allowed you to keep going to the next level?
Annie is a really, really special person. She's living the sport. She does everything for it. On the other side, I can't do that. I need to meet my friends. I need to hang out with my parents. I need to bake a cake. I need to walk the dog and stuff. I could never live a life like her. But I think this is so impressive that she has this little room in Lanzarote or in Saarbrücken, and she's totally fine. she could live in just a great apartment, but she doesn't want. She wants it simple. She wants to do her sport and want to go to bed and eat her food. Like, I think this is so impressive. It's not my life. I could never do that, because I would, like, maybe after half a year I would just drop the sport. Like, it's not the way of having fun in my eyes. And yeah, maybe I'm too much age grouper still. I don't know.
So perhaps by watching others such as Annie, you've learned what works for you.
Yeah, like, I learned that you really need to have a plan. You really need to stick to your plan. That's what I definitely learned.
Do you think that you will ever, because I know you're working part-time at Condor, do you think there's ever a time where you will risk it and maybe go all into professionalism, or no? Where do you feel?
That's definitely my goal. I just had a call before with a friend, and I asked him if he could, like, try to help me to find sponsors that I can live from the sport. And I don't know if he finds some. I don't know how that works, as I don't have a manager. I'm just on my own. So he will, like, figure something out and write this contract, how that works. Like, I think if the person finds a partner, it's like a certain percentage they get from the amount that I would usually get if I would go directly to this person. But that's fine. I mean, I tried hard to find someone, but I don't know why the company doesn't want the person to come and ask. They want someone to promote the athlete. I have no idea why, but I heard that from so many corners right now, from other athletes, that actually told me, like, yeah, you can't do that by your own because it just looks so unprofessional. Yeah, so I need help now.
Hey, so is that a barrier to, I mean, would you see that as a barrier to growing professionals in the sport, that they need to go through this pathway of, well, we need to get a manager because the manager is the one who talks to the companies, but that just adds another level. Like, can I just do it myself? Like, I'm the brand, like, talking about you, like, you're the brand that's going to match with a new brand. And isn't your voice the one that should be clearly expressed to those potential companies? So do you think it's like a barrier to more people getting into that professional realm and making it a living?
I think so. Like, there are not much people that can promote themselves really well. And even a Jan Frodeno has a manager. And I think he is, like, one of the best promoters for himself. But he's not doing it by himself as well. Because I just think companies want someone in between. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think that they want somebody that they can. I think it's almost like they need to keep a little bit of distance from the athlete, right? So, like, you show up. We saw you on Bob for 7 minutes and we were like, oh, I love her energy. Like, let's get her on the show. She seems so great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were already attached to you as a person. We were like, we like her. We like her vibe. And perhaps having that middleman really levels the playing field, and things can be negotiated, on your behalf that may be more difficult if it was going, right to you. So I can see it's like book publishing, right? Like, no publisher, an author can't go to a publishing house. You have to have an agent. Only agents can go to the publishing house. So it's kind of, right. But I can see that also from just like a humankind, right? Like, some athletes are going to be more likable than other athletes, right? Somebody with energy like you would be like, yeah, let's bring her in, give her a lifetime contract. And maybe somebody's, I don't know, maybe they're a little more grumpy, but like they perform better. It's like, well, we're just going to give her 6 months. So I can see that you would need that level of professionalism for that. But that's exciting. And that's what you have to do. Like, all of us, right? Like, as entrepreneurs, like, I didn't know how to run a podcast. I didn't even know how to plug this mic in. I had to watch a YouTube video. Like, we all start from that place where we don't know. Mm-hmm. And the difference between you and somebody who's, still as an age grouper is like, they never made that jump because they didn't know. And you did it anyway. So I want to go back to your mom. So your mom, who was always trying to encourage you to be a little bit more sporty, now has a professional triathlete on her hands. What does she think about your shift in life?
Sometimes, I mean, she's coming to every second race. Not because she always wants. It's always because I tell her, you know, why I'm doing it. I'm doing this because of you. So please come support myself. But I think she's super, super proud, even if she is, little upset sometimes with myself, trying to explain her that I'm the number one if there's a race. It's not a vacation, but she's getting it more and more and understands more and more how the whole thing works. So when she came to Hawaii, I actually invited her with the flight and paid most of the apartment's price, and told her, you know, like I'm taking all the fees, but please let me be the number one and please support me as good as you can, because this world championship is super, super important for myself. And then I told her, you need to massage my legs, and we need to get it moving again, because it's super important that I can run in this marathon. And she was like, oh, do I really need to do that? And I was like, yes, you need to do that. We as a team want to perform good. And now I told her, thanks, Mom. You saw like I was running so well. It's also because you helped me. And I think this makes her quite proud.
Yeah. I think you definitely need an agent.
Yeah.
So your agent can be like, all right, Mom, you gotta massage your
job,
feet,
Mom.
and you gotta massage your legs. Yeah.
Other people in your corner, Michael Davey, your coach.
Michael Harvey. Right?
Michael Harvey, sorry. Paint a picture of us of how this relationship works, because it looks like you're physically there under his guidance, training. It's not like a virtual experience. So what is training like? What's the relationship like? And what are you looking to get out of this coach-athlete relationship?
Yeah, he's a really, really great person. And it's just also a little bit like a friendship kind of. He understands myself. He's able to put himself into my body and tries to understand what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. And he's really good in that. Actually, like 3 weeks before the race, when I couldn't run anymore, he gave me so much energy, telling me, you know, we did all these hard sessions. Your body knows how to run. You worked so hard. I came up to your place. So he's living like 3 hours away. So he came up at the weekends, every single or every third weekend, to check how I'm doing, to do the key sessions with myself. And that saying that he did that because he is believing in myself gives me so much. It gives me so much back, and I really hope that I made him happy as well, because he's a really good person.
What is you mentioned some key sessions, like can you share with us maybe one or two key sessions that you love, something that you're just, because I know you probably
what I love.
Yeah, what do you love? What do you love? Not that you have to do, but which ones do you love?
I really love the sessions when he's swimming with myself. He's an he's an ex-swimmer. Maybe he's an ex-professional swimmer. I don't know. Maybe.
He's really good.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry. And I really love these sessions. It gives me such a boost that my coach can keep up with myself in the water. This is a favorite one. We are swimming with the pedal pull boys most of the times then, and keeping certain times. That's really, really fun. What I also really like is he drives up the hill and I run up the hill, and then he takes the car going down, and then we discuss how the run was and how it looked and what I can improve and stuff like that. It's so much fun because we have so much time to talk. yeah, this is a really cool session. And what else is a cool one? Oh yeah, the run, the out and back run. And we run, yeah, just slightly up the valley, and then we turn there. And Michael has my nutrition with himself and the border, and then yeah, we just run back, but in a race pace kind of pace. Yeah, that's the third session I really love, where he joined me, and yeah, it's so much fun.
So you grew up in, did you grow up in Germany, but now you live in Switzerland? Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, when I was 17, I went to Montreal, Canada for 2 years, working there as a skiing instructor and working in the college where I studied. I had a I don't know, student job there to just make money and make a living there. And then when I came back, I was still in Germany for half a year, but I didn't like it anymore, and I wanted to, yeah, go out of Germany, kind of. But it took me a while until I actually moved to Luxembourg, and from Luxembourg, I moved to. Yeah, it was a six month break in Germany again, but then I moved to Switzerland, and since then I'm gone. So and I don't want to go back anymore.
How long have you been in Switzerland?
Since 2017.
Oh, quite a while. Yeah, so you're settled.
Yeah, 100%.
But you're moving into your winter now. It's getting colder. You were saying that before we hit record. You're all bundled up. So how do you adjust your training in the wintertime? Do you do more stuff inside, or do you still go out and hit it outside in the colder conditions?
Actually, the longest I stay up in the mountains here is until the beginning of December, and then the snow is coming, and it gets really, really nasty and boring. Doing everything on the turbo, and it gets really cold as well. So you can't run outside anymore. Well, swimming is fine, of course, because it's indoors, but it gets really boring. So then most of the times I'm 1 month. It's called Heinsberg. It's in Germany. It's close to the city called Cologne, or Aachen, or what else is there? Düsseldorf. Mm-hmm. That's this region. And then I stay with my mom. Yeah, and the last 2 years I've been in Gran Canaria for 3 months to just have the possibility to continue training. What I am doing this year, I have no idea.
Yeah, Gran Canaria, that must be wonderful there. So you go a little bit to Germany, and then you've been going to the sun again. Yeah, so you're going through a little bit of an adjustment, right? Coming from Kona, the sun, the turquoise water, just the beautiful island that race takes place on, and now you're moving back into, going into winter. How's the adjustment been this week?
I was I'm super tired because of the jet lag. My body is upside down. I wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like this morning, I woke up at 2 a.m. It doesn't really know what's going on now, and the temperature is not making it easier for my body. So I needed to put the heat on, and this dry heat is not as nice as the humidity in Kona. So my mind and body definitely are missing the climate, because I'm just a heat lover. But it's all right.
And what's the plan forward? Do you have other races this year, or you're just settling into your recovery and kicking it back up for 2024?
Yeah, I am meeting a friend tomorrow, and he has some ideas maybe for myself, how everything could continue and how it could be better, to perform better and to have a team behind, because he's creating a team. That's his idea. but we are not sure if I'm fitting in there, and so we need to discuss that. So once I had this talk, I probably sleep 3 or 4 nights about his plan, whatever he is telling me, and then I decide if I call it, if I call it a season, like if I end my season now, or if I do maybe another race, and then go into my off season. I have no idea yet. Usually I've never stopped that early when I'm serious, like if I'm serious. But yeah, maybe this year I will and continue and start earlier. Who knows?
So you won Ironman France last year in Nice, and then the women's championship is moving there in 2024. There's got to be a confidence about already being on that course, knowing it really well, or similar course. I think it's pretty similar. Does that excite you to get back to World Championships next year?
100%, actually. Like, I was so in struggle with Kona right now because my bike position is not good. I have quite a lot of pain on my seat, so I don't know, the seat position is not good, the saddle is not good, I don't know. Because, yeah, like I say, like I have nobody who can really help me. So I have this saddle soreness, and after 50Ks, I'm like moving back and forth. It's just not good, and I knew that I'm not prepared perfectly for Kona. And I was just, when I went to Kona, I was just saying, like, just do that, and then there's the Nice. What is the big goal? So to answer your question, I'm super excited, and I really need a bike partner, or at least someone who can help me with the bike, that this gets better. But I mean, I have a couple of months left, so that gives me confidence that I'm ready until race day, confident that I can have a good day.
All right, so you need an agent. You need
a bike sponsor.
You need way more supporters than your mom.
A seat sponsor.
Yeah, we definitely need to get your position squared away on the bike. But do you hold these visions for the future? Have you held a vision of like having all of the support you need?
You mean like if I'm okay with if I don't have it, or if I...
No, meaning
manifesting, bringing it into your aware, like I'm bringing these people in, they're going to come eventually.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I believe in that. Like, I believe in the universe and stuff like this. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but I think if you... yeah, okay. But yeah, I think if you think positive, positivity will come. If you think negative, negativity will come. And that actually really happened after splitting up with my boyfriend in the Corona time. I was just thinking so negatively. And this shit was raining down. I tell you guys. It was raining down. And then I knew, like, and then once I started turning my mind to a positive thinking again, everything was fine. Everything was shiny, and the sun was shining all day long. And yeah, that's where I am again. And that's my mentality. I'm not a negative person at all. And yeah, I'm just living myself, and this is the best thing to do.
Yes. So, yeah. Well, keep holding that vision, because I think, first of all, you've got an incredible resume. Like, you have won some races as an age grouper, as a professional. Your performance on the Big Island is incredible. I hope the right person listens to this and says, oh my God, this girl is a gem, and we got to nab her up before somebody else does. And I think that's all coming for you. Just stay the course, just like you did last Saturday. Just stay the course. I think you're an incredible athlete. You've got a beautiful spirit. And, you're going to have challenges. Like, just because we are able to think positively, or we're grateful for what we have, or we're able to push through, doesn't mean that more challenges aren't coming. They're coming. But stay the course, keep going, because I feel like the sport, whether this is a jumping off point for another athletic career, I don't know, but there's something about you and endurance sports that is a beautiful match.
Yeah, and this sport gives you back so much. If you're an age grouper, if you're a professional, or if you are whatever, like, it gives you back so much. And that's why even if I'm in a big hole, it takes me 1 or 2 or 3 days, and then I realize, it's the best thing I can do.
Yeah, it's that positive mindset. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us. Like, I'm so grateful. We're so grateful that we were able to watch, Breakfast with Bob, which I've been watching, I want to say, for 15, 20 years, like everybody else. And I can sift through the people that come on, and you're just one that had a beaming light that we knew. We both were like, I was like, Jess, you got to check this out. You got to see this, this person talk. Just so much energy. And I think that's really just going to continue to shine through for you and those around you. And you're going to gravitate, you're going to pull these people into your life. They're already there. It's just that physical that needs to catch up. It's already exists. So just keep going. Like Jess said, you've got so much ahead of you. You've accomplished so much. So celebrate that, but there's so much ahead. So keep the smiles big and bright.
Hey, thanks so much. That means the world, like seriously, because I told you, like myself, convincement is quite little. So if someone tells me that, like, that's huge, I will sleep like a god tonight, I guess.
Well, you should, because you are beautiful light in this world, and good things are coming, and just stay the course. And thank you so much. You've had a busy week. You were so sweet. You were like, I'll be in the airport. We can do it there. Like, we can do it at 7:00 on Friday night after all this travel and getting home. So thank you so much for your generous spirit and for sharing with us. I know our audience is going to absolutely just love your energy, and you're going to have so many more followers and supporters and people who are envisioning everything that you need just streaming towards you right now.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and of course, I would love if one or the other would follow me. And if you don't like my content, I'm open to make it better. So just give me a message in my message box, and I really try to improve.
Oh, perfect. Where are you most active? Instagram?
Yeah, actually Instagram, and then it goes through to Facebook.
Okay, perfect. And what's your handle over there for people that can follow you right now?
Oh yeah, it's Svenja and _THOES.
All right, Svenja Thoes. Thank you so much, Svenja.
Yeah, thank you.
It was so great to spend this time with you. We're so grateful, and I hope you do sleep wonderfully tonight.
Thank you, guys. It was a huge pleasure.